The morning shift starts early. Before the sun is fully up, the lights click on in bakeries, hardware stores, and local clinics. People are putting in the hours, working with the exact same dedication they always have. But lately, something feels off. Even though local owners are working just as hard as their parents did 50 years ago, simply keeping a shop open feels heavier. The margins are tighter, and the daily friction is higher. Every town rests on an invisible foundation. Peel back the pavement, and you'll see three systems holding everything up: energy, logistics, and data. As our economy grows, that underlying foundation has started to buckle, never designed to carry this much weight. The struggle we see on the surface reflects this deeper structural exhaustion. That invisible architecture is simply buckling under the immense weight of the modern world. Computer scientists have a specific name for this kind of structural exhaustion. They call it systemic drift. When a network gets too large and complicated, it starts to lose track of tiny pieces of information. It makes a small error and then makes another error trying to fix the first one, compounding until the system drags. On a server rack, that looks like a software glitch. On Main Street, it looks like a delivery truck showing up 3 days late, overhead costs jumping for no clear reason, and local power grids struggling to meet seasonal demand. Our current approach to fixing these cracks is to throw more computing power at them. We use software that tries to guess the right outcome, or systems that burn massive amounts of energy to force computers into agreement. That approach only adds more friction to the daily operation of our towns. Think about physical construction. You cannot safely build a heavy steel skyscraper on top of a foundation made of shifting sand. Eventually, the math catches up with you. Saving our local economies requires us to stop patching the old plumbing. We need to pour an entirely new, structurally perfect foundation. That new foundation is now being built. A team of engineers at Oikonomia Architecture has developed a mathematical structure designed to support massive scale without breaking down. They call it a computational substrate. This acts as a stable law of computing, an unbreakable bedrock for the networks that run our world. In this diagram, you can see the secret to this bedrock, a property called reversibility. This architecture can process millions of complex data points forward and then perfectly reverse them back to the start. Not a single piece of information is lost or misplaced during the trip. Because the system never loses a detail, it never has to guess what happens next. This allows the foundation to remain perfectly stable, no matter how heavy or complex the network above it grows. Replacing probability with mathematical certainty changes everything. The invisible systems running our towns transition from fragile liabilities into permanent, reliable assets. This concept goes far beyond software on a screen. This new physics of computing applies directly to real-world infrastructure, starting with how we capture our power. This diagram shows how that geometric law behaves on the surface of a solar panel. The panel uses its precise mathematical shape to act like a funnel for light. Photons get caught in continuous loops, staying inside the material longer and driving up efficiency without needing any new chemical engineering. That same mathematical law governs physical motion in the sky. Because the flight computer tracks every change in position with perfect precision, a delivery drone can hold its place as if it were locked onto a steel rail, eliminating the erratic wobble of traditional flight software. We can even apply this to the lifeblood of commerce, moving money. When a financial ledger is built on this foundation, transactions are verified and settled instantly because the system doesn't have to wait for computers to guess or agree on the state of the balance. Whether managing photons, coordinating drone motors, or settling a bank transfer, the core challenge is the same: keeping information from drifting. By using a foundation that tracks every movement without error, we provide these critical systems with a level of reliability they have never had before. Let's bring this back up to the surface. Imagine a Main Street operating with this flawless foundation beneath it. For the local baker, it means their supply inventory tracks perfectly down to the ounce. Waste is eliminated, and the daily stress of guessing order volumes disappears entirely. For a local contractor, it means building materials arrive exactly to the minute they are needed, because the regional logistics network no longer drifts or delays. For the regional farmer supplying the town, their operations are sustained by a completely stable, localized energy grid that never fluctuates regardless of the weather. When the invisible systems holding a community together operate without friction, the people standing on top of them are free to reach their maximum capability. This infrastructure acts as a steady stage for human workers, providing the structural support they need to focus on their craft and their community. This computational bedrock is not a theory waiting to be discovered. It is a validated, hardware-verified system running on computer chips today, ready to be deployed right now. We have spent the last few decades exhausting ourselves by building heavier economies on top of shifting sand. We can choose to step away from that friction and build on absolute structural certainty. The American Main Street thrives when its foundation is firm. With this new architecture beneath it, the local economy becomes the blueprint for a prosperous, resilient future.